In this video, you will learn how to complete the setup for the external form connector and SugarMarket. By this point, you should have already created your dummy form in SugarMarket. If you have not, please return to the first video in this series for guidance. To create the external form connector, go to the navigation bar, select Legacy Features, External Form Connector, then select the New button in the top right corner. You will first need to review and fill in all of the required steps in this process before accessing the HTML code or URL for the external form connector. So let's get started. Step 1 is where you will fill in all the details. You will first be prompted to enter the page or the external form connector name. This should be the same name as the dummy form you created in part 1 of this series. Next, you will enter the description. This is for internal use, but we recommend adding a little bit about this being part of the external form connector. Then you'll add the external form location. While not necessary, it helps to put the URL where the external form is located. This way you'll always know where this goes. Finally, you will select the folder for your external form connector to go into. Step 2 is where you will choose your data processing options. The first checkbox allows you to cookie the record when they fill out the form. Ideally, you will want this to remain checked so you can track your conversions. However, if you're located in a place where your form must allow GDPR or CCPA compliance, please ensure there is messaging in your customer-facing form that indicates that they will be cookied with their submission. Second is do not overwrite. This applies if a record already exists in SugarMarket. SugarMarket recognizes a record by its email address as to not create duplicates in the system. If you enable this functionality, it will replace all the existing values in a record's fields with the information filled out on the external form. If you don't want to overwrite this information, or you choose to overwrite some of the information on your dummy form, uncheck this option. Finally, Push to External CRM will push the information captured by the external form connector all the way to your external CRM. It's important to note here that the external form connector and the dummy form you created in the first step of this series function independently of one another. Even without the dummy form, the external form connector can still update database fields. However, you won't have a record of the form submission anywhere in SugarMarket or your external CRM. The dummy form's main purpose is to serve as a paper trail as well as allow us to add actions following the form submission. The third step of the setup allows you to enter your submission actions. Do not click on any option in this step until the instructions tell you otherwise. This is very important as some of the steps will rewrite the code for the external form connector. First, you'll be prompted to enter the redirect to URL. Much like the dummy form's redirect to URL, the customer will never see this on their side. However, this should always match the redirect URL on the dummy form, and the URL needs to contain both HTTPS and www. Next, you'll use the Choose Assigned Contact dropdown to choose who new leads filling out the form will be automatically assigned to. If you would like to manually do your lead routing or do lead assignment via the form actions on the dummy form, or via the external CRM, simply select the option for all users. The next option is after submission, send an email campaign or trigger email. Do not click this dropdown. Clicking on this dropdown will rewrite the code for the external form connector, causing it to not work properly and requiring you to create a new one. If you would like to have a confirmation email for people filling out the form, you can configure this in the dummy form actions. Finally, you have the option to push to landing page, which you will always check when setting up the external form connector. Once checked, the builder will prompt you to choose a landing page to push the results to. You will choose the dummy form you created in step 1 of this process from the drop-down list to map the results from the external form connector to that form. Step 4 will give you the opportunity to map your columns. However, since you already have mapped your columns on your dummy form, they will auto-populate and you can probably skip this step. Step 5 allows you to review your setup. Pay special attention to step number 2 in order to verify that the double negatives in the original question make sense to you. Lastly, step 6 is the final step, which is finish. On this step, you will select the script method that your web developer prefers for adding this code to your external form. including getForm HTML, postform HTML, and REST URL. To get the script, click the button for the type you prefer and copy the script to an external document or directly to the back end of your web form. Please note that the SugarCRM team is not responsible for applying the script and cannot assist in this process, as it's technically no longer a SugarCRM project. Once the script is applied and you have submissions to your external web form, you should begin to see the data collected populate in your SugarMarket account. We recommend performing some tests to ensure that the external form connector has been applied properly. Please note, since these submissions are coming from a third-party form, there may be a slight delay of approximately 5 minutes when seeing the results in SugarMarket.